So our first topic will be how to make and save money. So Alice will come in and then give us an insight of that, and we will add to that, so our viewers can get something out of. Alice, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. You're saying as if I know all. Thank you very much.
You do.
We all need money, but we don't have the receipt for it. No? Yeah. Anyway, the last time our discussion was about. I gave some insights, some golden nuggets. People making business and how they can go forward. So there was not much time to talk about how people go with their money, things like that. Today, I would like to just say the four ways of making money or four ways of getting rich. Number one will be working. That means going to work, earning salary, and you can scale it. The only way of scaling it is by making more hours, overtime, and how to call it. This one is common and known in the Gambia. That's where everybody is heading. That's why many people don't think of any other chance of making money. But there are four ways, and this is one of them. So the second one will be selling. That means that is making a business, like or at the market. What they are doing there is all selling, and they can scale it with commission, or closing. That means the quicker and more people you close to the business, or profit. These are the ways of earning in that area. So the third one is having assets, like having a compound, renting it, things like that. And the fourth one is lending. Lending, that means you have the money already, you can lend it to people and have your interest, just as the banks do. You understand? So these are the four main ways of making money. And what I wanted to talk about is the last time I was telling people when they make business, they always try to make sure that from the profit, they should not touch it. I mean, they should take out their cost and fixed cost. Then the margin, what is over, is the profit, and that one they can use it and pay themselves. You know, so many people don't understand that when I say people, business people pay themselves, they pay themselves first, and they should pay themselves first, and that means they should take out these fixed costs, their living cost, because if they don't leave, the business won't work, and then the rest, as Sam said the last time also, the rest that you can call maybe profit, but not what you get one to one, because all these costs are coming out of that. So I think that one people understand it. And the other thing is to save from this profit always 10% when it's possible. And this 10%, if if you make more money, make sure that from the amount also another 10%. That's why people are rich. And this 10% don't touch it, only if it should be. Many people in the Gambia start a business, they got a capital and then invested in something, and then are very happy to get the first profits. So, what are the first profits? What are they going to do with it? They spend it unnecessarily, they put it somewhere else, and money goes if you don't take care. That's why many people say rich people they count money. Poor people they don't count money. There is something inside it. Because if you think of our last session, I was talking about many people used to say, this is just. So this is just. That's where the money is. You understand? If you accumulate that at the end, you see that it's a huge amount. But at our life, what we say is, this is just $2, is $3, is it doesn't matter. Let me just go to Yusundur. It's just one time in the year. Let me buy a new clothes. That is just one gente. And this, if you accumulate it, is million, 1 million. Then after, you still complaining that you are a poor person. That's why white people say poor people don't count money. The rich people, they count money. Because rich people, they want to know where the money is going inside and where the money is coming in, you know. So these are things I used to advise people, or especially the youth who really want to make business, to take care of these things, and then to make sure that they start. If I say that it's sometimes very hard, they start from zero. You understand? If they start from zero, the chances of making it very, very, very high. What people cannot always think of. I mentioned these four things: working, selling, having assets, lending. If you start from zero, you start going to work, you keep something, you open your business, you are number two, selling something. So this selling something, if you take care of your profits and everything, you can buy one day assets. And when you get assets, after, the money will come from a loan, and then you go to number four, and you'll have enough money to lend even the bank, which is going to help you to make even more profits. That's why some people used to say better to start from zero, which is very hard. I mean, even impossible. But the money you have as capital to put in your business, you have to make sure that don't touch it for unnecessary things, which is our problem, especially in Gambia, Africa. You know, because we have a lot of problems: the social problem, the family problem, friends problems. You know, so you have to be resistant of all these corners. When people come and ask you money, and you calculate it and see, if I give this person this, then I'm going to be bankrupt, or I cannot buy my next goods. You can be real and say, okay, it's not possible. But this is again difficult in our society. If you do that, Sam, twice, they say, oh, Sam is a bad man. You understand? Because people never try to know the reasons. These reasons, I'm telling you, because if you don't tell them these things, they'll see you as a bad man. But you have reasons. Maybe if you do that, your whole business is going to collapse. But nobody would understand that. You understand? So that is the social part, this problem. So the next thing is, even friends. Some friends don't want you to prosper. If they should see that you are making more money than them, they start to, move away from you, or try to criticize you, or discourage you even from your goal. You understand? So you are going to be different in that matter to your friends. So these are our problems also in Gambia, and never start a business just because you want to make a business. Some people, they will say, oh, Mr. Sawaneh, I saw him, he's driving a big car, he's a businessman, he's selling, let's say, tomatoes. So I also want to sell tomatoes, you know.
By
That
the way,
is
Gambians are fond of that. When you get into one person get into something, everybody want to get into it.
That is it. That is it. And that's why they advise, if you want to make business, sell something, make sure that it's from your heart and you are sure of it. And maybe the best thing is even something what you like. You understand? Because then you can talk about it better and more, and it makes more fun with you. You know. But that's the day. And never overestimate yourself. To say Mr. Sawane is doing this, is having that, so when I do it, I have that. Those businesses, they go most of the time down, because you don't know what Mr. Sawane is doing with this thing to get prosper, and he's having another name. So that's already the difference, or different from person to person. So I think, Mr. Sawane, I can leave Sam to come and give a comment, because when we talk about everything, then we'll be here till tomorrow. Maybe next time I can give some golden nuggets when we meet again.
Okay, thank you so much for Alas for that insight about how to make money in business. Sam, you want something? I have something on how to save money, so I will share with after Sam's, you know, presentation. Sam, you want to come in?
Oh, I won't say too much on this because how to make money is really sounds you know very interesting because to some people when you talk to them about how to make money, they may think that, well, if you know how to make money, why didn't you make money first? So so I what I can say though is the consistency of operating any business, anything that you do, really the proper planning from the beginning to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know what you're getting into, and what your expenses are, because you cannot just be spending without holding yourself accountable. It's very important to make sure that no matter what you do, no matter what business you do to make money, hold yourself accountable. It's very, very important. If you don't audit yourself and you don't hold yourself accountable, you're gonna fall apart. And just like what Alice mentioned and Mr. Sawaneh commented on that too, is in Gambia, people see that somebody starts a business, everybody wants to get into that same business. It really is not a good idea to do that, because one, before you get into anything, you need to do your research. You cannot just see somebody getting into business selling shoes, this type of shoes, and you want to get the same shoes and sell them because you think he's making money. Well, you don't really know. You need to make research. Or one, you need to know, to get into that business, where is this person getting his product from? How much is he paying for them? Because he may have a very good connection with where he's getting those products, and he's getting a good discount because he's been a partner with them for a long time. Whatever they're selling at, let's say, whatever is costing $10, this guy is getting it for 5 at this point, or maybe he's getting it for 7. If you go there, you want to run the same business, they're not going to sell it to you for 7 because they've known him and built a relationship with this guy already. So don't think that because he's doing it, you can do it too. He's getting it for 7, and he's going to turn around and sell it for, he can sell it for, say 14. And then you go in there, you're not getting it for 7, you're getting it for 10. They're going to sell it for you at 10, and you also going to sell it for 14. He's still going to be ahead of you. He's still going to be ahead of you. If you want to get greedy, you want to sell your 15, 16, 17, then yours will collapse. People are not going to buy it. It's going to stay with you forever until they expire, especially things that expire. So is because somebody does a business doesn't necessarily mean that you should also get into the same business. You need to know the ins and outs, how to start and what connection to build and all of that. Do all the research and be prepared for it to make sure that you do the math to make sure that you can be profitable in doing that business. Otherwise, it's of no use. You're just going to waste your money. So I don't want to say too much. Alice had said what he said already, and listened to him too. So how to make money is a big question. Is a real big question, and I don't have that answer. So I can tell people how to run a business and be a profitable business person. I know that part. I learned that, and I train people. I have done it myself, and I was successful in doing it. So that I can say that part. But really, how to make money is
It's
sounds
a
very
topic for
interesting to me.
itself. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So go ahead, Mr. Swanee.
All right. Thank you, folks. Yeah, this is a topic that I would like to contribute, not that because I I can prove that I make money, but the fact that I can prove that I save money. That's an area that I can say because saving money I think is the hardest thing than making money. Have you guys ever seen billionaires, millionaires getting broke at the end of their career? Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
fact.
most of
Yeah,
them, most of them,
Michael
because they
Jackson
cannot
was
go with money.
one of the richest musicians of all time. But the time of his death, he was really under negative. Just because somebody is having money doesn't mean that person is rich. If you look at Gambians, most rich people we consider in the Gambia, Sankunsila, you know, all these circular folks, if you look at the assets they have and what they owe, if you subtract what they owe, you're probably richer than those people.
Right.
So people don't understand when they see somebody name out there, Bachili or whatever their names are, and they think, you know, "Hey, gee, this person, you know, is rich." Wait until they do an audit. Wait
Before
until
you
they
get
assess
involved.
what is owed, and I mean, in comparison of what they have in asset and cash. And surprisingly, people don't even know. Like most of these celebrities are not rich. I found that out when Gabriel Union, one of the movie actor in the United States, came out during COVID, perhaps around July, and said, some people look at us as rich, but COVID has revealed that because we used to travel, but our travels are paid. It's not that it come from our pocket. So we are going to all these movies and all these shows, and people think we have cash money. We don't. And we also, you know, like looking forward for the for the bailout that the government is giving, because we can't even do those things anymore because there's no movement. So we don't have cash money. Now we started to look for money. Started to ask, you know, take loans, or started to go unemployment. Imagine a movie star saying that. So somebody you probably think is making money, it's not really making money. You perhaps think
Okay.
he's making money because of the position that person is. But if that person is not saving money, is spending more than what he's making, it's gonna go negative. And
Right.
then if their assets, the assets that they have, if you look at the debt that they have, you do the ratio, those people are going negative.
When you're
At the end
looking.
of the day, you will not know until somebody passed away and they started taking all these debts out, and they say, gee, I thought Alice was a millionaire.
Yeah, and he was having only $2 in the
Alice with all the fame and all the, you know, big driving big cars, Alice is
Yeah,
owned,
yeah,
Alice is what is just negative. This is what happened to Michael Jackson, MC Hammer, most of the black people. And definitely I have to be biased here. The problem is us black people and as Africans, we have a system of not calculating what we spend. We buy anything our eyes can pleases. You go to a store, oh, I want this. Oh, Sam has this. I want that. I want this sneaker. I want this. I want that. Gee, why would you have to buy something that you don't immediately need? It's not an urgency. I will only do that when I know there's a guarantee that I will need this thing and it's on sale, that it might not come back again. So this is what the white folks do. They buy things that toilet paper, you know, definitely you cannot stay without that. And it's on sale. You can grab it. Guess what? One day you will use it. But you go buy sneakers, you go buy because it's Jordan, because it's this. Now you wear that, you spend so much money, $200, $300, that could have gone to something important, your education, family issue, spend on that. And guess what? That's who's gonna sit there just because Alice has Jordan, the new Jordan just came out. I must get
yeah.
it. So if we want to talk about making money, we have to think about saving money. I would
Right.
suggest, I came up with a proposal like a few years ago for people to start writing down everything that they spend daily. I know it's gonna be hard. Some people would think it's crazy.
Yeah,
You
but
go
it's a
and
way
buy
of control.
you go and buy a cup of coffee, you write it down. And write everything down. Every day that you spend for the whole month, I give everybody that challenge watching this show. When you write it down, go back the whole month, write down everything that you have made. Any dollar that comes on your way, even somebody give you as a gift, is an income. Okay, and your paycheck, and compare. So you do that in January. See where you have misspent or where you have spent unnecessarily. If you spend unnecessarily going to Starbucks, you spend $40, but you can make a coffee in your house and you can only spend $10. You save $30. So
Right.
there's no need to go to Starbucks. Eliminate that. Hey,
And it's the
I'm
same
not going to
coffee.
I'm not going to Starbucks this month. I'm gonna make coffee in my home. So you look at it, it gives you consciousness to look at everything you spend. And guess what happened? It's hard to write everything down. You'll be like, oh, am I stupid? Writing all this thing down like a non-entity, like like I
But
don't
it
have any
helps.
job.
It
But guess what?
helps.
If you don't have the energy to spend, why wouldn't you have the energy to write down? How long it takes to write down a cup of coffee on a notebook or create a spreadsheet? If you don't know how, I can help you on that. And that will quantify everything and give you the total. So you can keep your eye on what you spend. I wrote a presentation on that, and I wrote something on that I will have to share with people. But if you keep doing that, it gives you financial discipline. It makes you in control of money instead of money being in control of you. Guess what happened? After you do that 1 year, 2 years, hey, gee, the guy who is making $50,000 more than you and don't care about spending, you're gonna be able to save more money than that person. And you'll be able to do better things than that person. So
Especially your own.
exactly. So I think this is one of the things that our people lack, the financial discipline. We talk about, oh, I have a job, but I'm not, I'm not, I want a better job. No matter how much better job you want, if you're not considering this financial discipline in your personal life and your business life, guess what happened? You're not gonna go anywhere. And another thing that you guys were talking about, just because somebody is doing this business, you think it's good for you. Look at the passion. Sam is doing restaurant business. I've seen that in New York here. Many people get their head into restaurant business because, gee, I can cook, I can make plazas, I can make this. You have to understand your people, do they support you? If you build a restaurant here, Gambians gonna come? If your people don't support you, how are you gonna make it? And we know ourselves. If Alice has a restaurant and it's a next door neighbor who is a Chinese or Hispanic, I'd rather go and give my money to that Chinese or Hispanic than Alice, because you know why? If I give it to Alice, Alice is gonna be better than me. This is us. Am I lying?
Right? You nailed it.
Nail
That's
it.
Gambia.
So our folks build restaurants here. I've seen it with my eyes. 1, 2, 3 people. They ran out of business because we don't support them. Or you ask African people or Gambian people, they say, oh, we cook at home. That's an excuse. If Sam or Alice has a restaurant, I should be able to donate you at least once or twice a month, even if I cook home. You are my brother, right? If I want success for you, I will definitely support you. But that's what we don't have. We rather go to the Chinese people, we rather take our kids to Japanese people and buy the same food that we could have, support our own. So our people cannot get into business just because we can cook African food and let me open a restaurant. No, look at your people, assess how they are. Are they going to support you? Is this a business to get into? Now, if the business is for some other nationality, guess what? Your chances are probably more greater than that, because those other nationality probably will look at the quality that you provide and maybe buy because of that. So I guess, our people need to be doing things based on passion, based on how successful they can. You have to do your homework. Don't just jump into a business and say, oh, Samba is doing this, Sam is doing this, I can do it. And we are very good at that. When somebody starts sending money, we all send money. When somebody start selling peanut, we all sell peanut. At the end of the day, if we all sell peanut, nobody's gonna. I mean, how are we gonna? We're gonna
There's a
saturate the
lot
market.
of pain.
Yeah. So business is interesting to topic. We are not an expert, but from personal point of view, I
But
think
you say
saving,
it correctly.
yeah, saving money, you need to really monitor what your expenses are, either in business or personal. So I'm gonna leave it up to here, and then if you guys have any more contribution to this topic, otherwise we'll move to our next topic.
Yeah, I just only wanted to quote about people who, I mean, I'd like to encourage the youth who would like to do something in business and so, because in the Gambia, it's unfortunate that we have only the government who can employ the people to work. That's why many people go on business, and it's the only chance to make it apart from working for Barrow. And there are a lot of people, they are also having the problem of starting with a capital. In other countries, they used to do that. They used to give the youths, how to call it, it's a kind of investment scholarship or other, things like that. I think and hope that the Minister of Youths, or how to call it, they will try to help the youths and give them this chance, which is very important for Barrow's government because we're having a lot of youth population in the Gambia. And when I just look at it, I don't think they are very happy, which is not very good. So, and my advice to some of the youths who can afford it or afford it from their parents' side, not to feel comfortable. We Gambians are also used to our comfort zone. I used to say we have to leave the comfort zone
Morning.
and try to go for something. Okay, some are having the intention. Unfortunately, they don't have the capital. But people who have the capital or some way to do something, let them try it. Leave the comfort zone. The comfort zone is always very nice. It's just like when you have 70 degrees in your room,
Be close.
you're feeling comfortable, everything is okay, you're having your food to eat and everything. So you don't have it necessary to go up for anything. That's why we call it comfort zone. It's comfortable. But this zone with 70 degrees, once it starts to drop to, let's say, 65 degrees, you start to get panic. Then you start to do something against it so that you get your comfort zone, the 70 degrees again. And that's where many people start to think of business first, you know, and what to do. So they'll try this one, because they're panicked, it doesn't go. They try this one and try this one, all without plan and intention. That's why most of them, when they start at this juncture also to make business, with a peace of mind and planning, as Mr. Sawaneh said, and so on, then it can be also a problem. That means when we are in our 70 degrees zone, we have enough time to plan to go forward, to make sure that we go to 80 degrees, from 80 to 90, following our plans. I mean, sometimes it's luck also, you can say. Uh, but if you control and count your money and try to save, as Mr. Sawaneh said, just take a piece of paper, write down the list where money is coming from. It's very easy. You don't need to go to a high school to do that. And the other side of the list, you write down every cent or dollar you take out and write why, for what. If it is for electricity, write it there. For power, cash power, write it there. To Yusundur, write it there. To your tailor, write there. To Ngentes, and then you will also see how many Ngentes you even have in this in the month. It's just for you to see Where is the money coming and where is it going? If you have that, which is most of our problem, that's why they used to say, rich people, they count. Well, poor people don't count. So people like Michael Jackson was a poor person, for example. He was not counting, you know. And many, as Sawaneh said, many of these rich people, they don't count. They have their managers.
Yeah.
So once these managers misuse, because they always want to make profit underneath, one time you see a big hole. That means all what they were doing, people thought that they were having, is not, you know. And I used to
You
say,
don't know that until when they die. When
that's
they're
it.
not here,
Some things like that. Then the accounts will come, something like that. That's why many people say nobody is rich. Only some people pretend to be rich. So there's something in it, you know. And we have to understand also as Gambians, I would say general, that we can be very comfortable also without having much. To be comfortable
cut.
and to be happy in life, that has nothing to do with money, but nobody would understand. Because our mentality gives us, we can only be happy when we have money. You understand? But really, money has nothing to do with your happiness.
It helps.
Yeah, has nothing to do with your happiness. We are only happy when we see life how we want to see it. You understand? And we are unhappy when we see life how we don't want to see it. You know? So it's just a mindset. It's like if you come to Germany, you'd see people, they have a lot of money, they can do everything. But the thing is, sometimes if you watch them, they never laugh in their life. So then you start to ask yourself the question. I thought that when you have money, you will be the happiest man in the world. No, they are two different things. When you see these white people, when they come to Gambia, most of them who have never been in Gambia, they think when they come, what are they going to see? People being, you know, poor, and most of them maybe are crying because they don't have money, you know. So this shock is always there for most of them when they first enter Gambia. They see people are laughing, dancing, and so they couldn't understand it. We don't have the money, but God give us the happiness and things like that. Why? Because most of us don't think of the money, as these people. It's an industry state, and everything is fixed on the dollar, like America, But in the Gambia, we are lucky that our social living, which is an advantage, help us. Because if I don't have some need help from me, we Gambians, we give very quickly. So that makes our life easy. You understand? It's also not in every country. You understand? So this social life is there, and we should be lucky. But at the same time, this social life can be disadvantaged because once they say, okay, I go to Sam, I have to get money, I need money. I go to Sam calculated his money and said it's not possible. So they can turn it against Sam to say, oh, he's a bad man. He doesn't want to help me. He hates me. He. So that is also the problem of the other part of being a social state, And again, Mr. Sawaneh, you said it here. If people see somebody is having this, they say, okay, I'm also going to have that. We always have to believe also, especially Gambia is a Muslim state. We have to believe God gives somebody, but for you, he gave you something else. You should not be envying Sam because Sam is having a big house. Look what God also did for you. Maybe you are having a car. So you don't know that the fact that some don't have a car is very sad about it. Some is even envying you having your car, but you are happy. You never think of all those things. In life, there is always something missing. Life is not perfect. It's just the way we try to accept it and live with it. You understand? Some are having A lot of money. Maybe they never have a child. Some are having children, but they don't have money to feed them. You know, so these are all different kind of characters. Now I'm going to social life, but we want to stand from stay about money. We talk about money. So for me, I think I'll wrap it up. That's the only thing I wanted to say
Thank
today.
you.
That people, yeah, and let us leave some comment.
Yeah, Sam, your final
Yeah.
words on that topic.
Yeah, no, I'll just say we can move on to the next topic. You guys have really exhausted too much into this already. So, great information for our viewers. One key thing in there about money and saving money is really, I said this last week, and Mrs. Sawaneh also just mentioned it. I think Alice mentioned it, is the financial discipline. Very, very important. If you don't have the financial discipline,
Right,
no matter how much money you have, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be happy.
right.
Yeah, that's it. So financial discipline is very, very important.
And- and-
I'll just say, even if you can, just like Sawaneh proposed, write down everything. Another way to do this is also, number one, look at if you're in Gambia and your salary is, I will give an example. Your salary is $7,000 a month. Look at how much, write down how much does it cost you average for grocery, like going to the market, the fish money. How much do you spend on a bag of rice and all the grocery that you have at home? How much do you normally spend? Write it down. How much do you normally spend on electricity, on your cell phone, on all your utilities, all the expenses that you have? Write them down and take that amount, including your rent and all that stuff. Take all expenses and combine them. Take that out of your 7,000 and see how much money you left. If all your expenses added up to, say, $5,000, then you should know that I cannot touch that $5,000 because that's fixed. I can only spend 2,000 this month. That 2,000, I have to manage my life with it. Don't go over it. Don't, just have the financial discipline to see what you can do with that. So anyway, I'm
Brilliant.
gonna stop it here so we can get into the next topic.
Yeah, so just to conclude, two things. I just want folks to understand that you cannot say I have too much responsibility, so that as an excuse. That's why you're not able to save money or make money. Financial responsibility, if it is genuine responsibility, if you have kids to support, if you don't support those, you can even end up losing money because the God who is providing you with this money might even cut it off. So if you have an obligation to do a child support, you better do that because that's your responsibility. If you have a family to take care of, that will never make you poor. Nobody have seen anybody who is poor because they cannot, their family is the one that make them poor because they take care of their family. I'm not saying that somebody come and exploit you or you go and spend money that are not necessary on something just to make name or to be liked. No, but something that is necessary. A food need to be on the table. That will not make you poor. So don't come and say, oh, I see a lot of Gambians come and say, oh, they the responsibility water bucket. I cannot save any money, and so forth. No, you can do little for towards those responsibilities. You don't have to do too much, and yet still you can save money. So another thing is, let's make sure that the profit we got, we assess that and put that aside. We Gambians are fond of seeing money coming in and thinking everything that comes in from the business is profit. It's a huge, huge mistake. Everything that comes in is not profit. You have to subtract your expenses, your overheads, your bills, everything that has been spent, take that out, and that's when you have a profit. And that profit you have to pay yourself. Don't take yourself out. Alice, I spent 20 hours today, this week working on my business. Alice, I need 20 hours is equivalent to this. And pay every other overheads, employee, then from the include all that in the expenses and include yourself in the expenses, that's when you have profit. That's what you can save to invest on other businesses. So let's be conscious about that. But I've seen Gambian people in this start business. Oh man, business is good. It's good. You know, may inka kuro min suru boy akasiale baki fa mo ito ba lo yung business o boy sa min bekela millionaire. But you don't ibuka calculate. Ite kuro min already you spend jay. Ni men spend ye ni o bondi ye men spend ni o bondi ye men suto. Ni me lo fa mo wato le kalon ko. For your business o better farm better because menka tubul abakasia. Ni al naman sia is ala better. Ni asia is alonko definitely. Ha in business o jiko better. Then following month fana ya try. You keep doing that. Then after balon nako definitely kudu bijele. You kudu fana save for emergency things. Because you can iso kudu fana tano ya invest also to other projects. So a business o bundanya si janjan no, then you started making more money. So it's a lot of work. But to kala fimena well enjoyment before work. What a care nola. Nti will enjoy nola before doko. Funga doko wele ke follow. Then after sina enjoyment ke. No, so this is the approach that normal nantamen consider. So that being said, we're gonna jump into the IEC issue with the election voters registration. So as we've seen in the past couple of days or weeks, IEC has postponed election voters registration for especially folks in the diaspora. So a lot of people in the diaspora has been very, very, unhappy about this because why is the delay? That's what is everybody talking about. Why are they postponing it? So the IEC came and said that they are waiting for clearance of procure materials from GPPA. They are waiting for GPPA to procure materials. Now, some people have already started going to the Gambia to try to register just because they want to vote. Vote is the right of all Gambians, okay? Let our government know they can mess with this. If you want to mess with our vote, then we have a problem. Because every Gambian citizen, I'm not saying non-citizen don't vote. Because if you vote, it's gonna be trouble for you. You have to earn citizenship in order to vote. I don't care how I care of course how you earn it. You better earn it in the right way, not through the back door. Not like somebody, coming around and paying somebody money in the immigration or somewhere, having them to register just because this person is going to vote for me. This particular group of people is going to vote. I think that we shouldn't do. We shouldn't even mess around. And then it's the responsibility for citizens and the opposition leaders to make sure that doesn't happen. And it's also the responsibility of the government because the opposition can also register people who are not eligible. So it's not only the ruling party that can do that. But let's all keep our eyes open about this because this is not a joke. We want to make sure that the Gambians vote. Don't pick somebody from Senegal, from Casamas, from Guinea-Conakry, from Spain to come and vote in the Gambia. They have to earn citizenship. And it cannot be a rush citizenship. Come on now. We know that election is coming. Everybody who's supposed to be citizen need to be really looked into. So that is a clear message. And then our opposition folks on the ground, it's your responsibility. Gambian citizen, it's your responsibility. We don't want to come back here. People complaining, oh, people vote like Donald Trump is saying, dead people vote. People who are dead people who are voting. Now is the time to investigate, to make sure that this IEC is transparent. If I'm in opposition, folks, I don't mind going through 800,000 voters card registration information. We will have people for that, to do that, to make sure that we verify everybody's citizenship or kind of like eligibility to vote. So this is not this election determines how our unborn are governed, how we are governed for the next 5 years. So it shouldn't be taken lightly. So I think IEC also need to make sure the diaspora vote, because that's the new Gambia that Gambian people fought for. Every Gambian, no matter where you are in the space, you can be, you are eligible to vote. Your ballot should count. So having to postpone this is causing a very, very big nervousness in the diaspora community, in Gambian community, and it's raising an eyebrow. Abe mo bele kijo farakang, because monemo nka mem fight 2016 pour Gambian be a vote, another vote la nyaming. Wole mantara abe koka atikela. Mod be silarin wala tina mona tina iko GPPA woko procure material sol will ko wala IEC ka wole baton aka wole baton nyadile mona tina wol mantariano. We had 5 years, 4 years past, 5 years pour que ñu fengol be deda. Surprisingly, yesterday I got a call. I got a call from a Gambian in one of the state. I call all the Gambian association in America, their phone numbers and the contact person and the email. I call, they want ilafta puriya long how many people in the diaspora, the head count. Yesterday, I got a call. The guy said, I'm not gonna disclose his name. They are working with IEC. Purkalong, how many people will live a diaspora? Mojil live a diaspora. I left the government, left the it's no problem. Sam, ila organization la name dinner. Alice, ila organization la name dinner, another phone number. I'm gonna be writing this down. But today is what? On the 10th January. We make sure when we do all this work, Gambian people in the diaspora vote, because otherwise we're not gonna stop talking about it. You cannot come and fool us. Just give us all this number, make us believe. And whilst you don't want us to vote, because Yajiko, as a government, if we vote, perhaps the most of those vote might not favor you as a leading person, as the incumbent. So I just want to make this clear. We will do our work, just like how we did our work, 2016, 17, when Barrow and his entourage came here in the United States, and we host the town hall. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna provide every Gambian that we can possibly provide who is in the diaspora. But we wanna make sure they make everything available, because the point is that the registration is suspended because people are thinking that they don't want the diaspora to vote, and the diaspora might not be a group that probably would vote for the incumbent in large numbers. So we have to call a spade a spade. That is probably that most people can agree with. So perhaps that is something that is fishy about this. But I'll allow you guys to put your thought on it. Gambian people who are eligible to vote must vote. Those who are not eligible to vote must not vote. The diaspora must vote. That's what is agreed on. When Gambian people are going to the poll, that's what they want. And the IEC must be transparent, must not be biased, and we must have a fair and free election. And there is another appointment that happened with Mr. Joyner. I believe you guys saw it. The appointment that President Barrow recalled after people making noise on Facebook. How can somebody from a ruling party become a vice chair of an IEC? Gambian people, what is President Barrow thinking? I mean, that's conflict of interest right there, right? That's conflict of interest. IEC vice chair, somebody who is known to be part of NPP, to be appointed as a vice chair. Conflict of interest right there. If I am that person, guess what? I will favor everything that will help my party win. So I think, President make a misstep on that, and I'm glad he recalled it. This is what need to be done. If you make something that is a miscalculation or maybe intentionally trying to take advantage of a thing that you think probably we are sleeping or we don't know, guess what? We know, we understand, we can read the line. So thank you, Mr. President, for recalling that, but it shouldn't be done in the first place. So yeah, so guys, you have the floor. I think I actually
Yeah, Mr. Sawaneh,
everything
thank you very
about
much.
what is going on around this. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, you said right. I mean, good that he recalls it and take it also democratically and know that, if you cannot just do that like that. I'm very sorry for this joiner also. But these are the things I think Baron need also advisors because there are a lot of things happening which even miss the courts and so I'm having the feeling that he is not that much advised to take certain steps that is showing you. And when that is also happening with the economy, then we should not be wondering. The next thing I wanted to say is the IEC, they are known to be independent body, and we hope that they stay also to be independent and not to be influenced. We are having right now 16 parties. I know they have also another new situation because Gambia had never got um, 16 parties. So maybe they have to restructure themselves, I don't know, in turn, but they should not leave any influence from outside, from any party, whether opposition or leading. And the next thing for the diasporans, it will be very sad when the diasporans are not given the possibility. And if that should happen, Mr. Sawaneh, you can be right. There must be also a reason. Maybe that is favoring somebody or not, which should not be. We have to be transparent and deal everything fairly. And yeah, I mean, in this case, I think it's also wrong to start or very late to think about the diasporans' votes. We have a lot of time. So, and I think it's also going to be a little bit something new for them because they've never got the votes from diaspora. That means they should have prepared themselves long time, because the diasporans must also have a center like the possibility to drop their letter or votes here at the consul or consulate, which we don't have here in Germany. It's unfortunately like that. We are having a foreigner sitting here. I used to say that every day. You know, I don't think the Gambians will be ready to go there to Berlin to try to drop that there. Maybe they don't want to even see this man because it's not normal. How can a country be represented from a foreigner? The whole world take their people and place them in certain places. But we are having it since Jammeh time. People thought that Barrow will change it, but it's going to 4 years. So we have to live with it. Having the most populated place as with Gambians, where we don't have a national or I don't know an ambassador or consulate even from the Gambia. That is a big sin. I don't know how it comes, but we have to live with it. So in this case about the election also, it will be very interesting, I know, but people have to observe it. Gambians are no more sleeping, and for Mr. Barrow's act, okay, you can criticize it, but you can then give him the right again because he saw his mistake and then recall. Anyway, it's very sad for Mr. Joyner because he's dedicated and everything. Nobody is saying about his capabilities, but how things go, I know that the opposition will not be okay with it. They will not be comfortable with it. That's definite. So it's good that he realized it and tried to correct it. It's okay. Being a dictator, he was going to say by force he is going to stay there. What most of the African presidents are doing. So in this case, we can just respect his reaction also and say, okay, that was okay, and should never happen again. Okay, thank you. I think that's what I wanted to say. Sam can comment.
Yes, Sam. Thank you, Alice, for that contribution. Sam, go ahead.
Well, these two topics are kind of together. I'm going to hit them both together, just like you both did. The appointment of Mr. Jonah and also the IEC, the election stuff. Um, the appointment of Mr. Jonah is really, just like Sawaneh said, is a conflict of interest. It should not have happened. Uh, you know, I've said this here before, and I think all of you said this before. Our president does not have the right advisors. If I were a president and someone advised me to choose, and I trust you to do your job, first I'm gonna select the right people that can do the job, get you to do the job, and you give me the wrong information. You make me do something that is this stupid and then turn around and have to reverse that cost. Guess what? Your ass is out of here. I'm getting you out of there. I'm sorry to say that, but
Yeah, no, it should be like
that's what I'm
that.
going to do. That person is out because they don't know their job. They should have done all that homework before coming to the president to say so and so is the one that we need to do without creating a conflict of interest. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Um, but on the side of IEC, I think it's a mess. Just like I always say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's just that simple. They failed to plan properly, and that's why everything that they want to do and what the things that they want to do are failing because they didn't plan. And I think our National Assembly members really need to look at this. If it's in our Constitution that in the IEC Act that all electoral material or election materials should be tendered before IEC select a particular company to make these materials. Well, that tender should be going to GPPA, through GPPA, Gambia Public Procurement Authority. All right. But IEC, from what I heard back in the news, IEC chose somebody and it did not go through this. So what the group that the company that they chose, GPPA is saying no, or they're not agreeing with that because it didn't go through the right channel. What's wrong with us? I mean, this is Gambia. We have laws. We need to follow the laws. We need to make sure things get done correctly. You see, they didn't know that they're going to get into a roadblock because if they decide, IEC decided to go with a group that is not approved, well, GPPA is going to hold on and sit there and wait and see what's going to happen. And that's exactly what we find themselves in. They found themselves in. They didn't do things the right way, and that's why there's a delay. How can you announce a date when you don't even have what you need for that day? How can IEC announce that they're going to do registration on January 14th when they don't even have the materials? When they know they don't have all this? This is lack of organization. It's a disaster. It's the chaos. I feel like firing all of those people out of there and bring people that are going to do the right thing.
Yeah, we vote for you,
See,
Sam.
we're playing with people's lives because election is very important. People need to be able to register and vote. Gambian citizens wants to register and vote. So anyone that is not doing the right thing and causing all this chaos there, I mean, they really shouldn't be there. And in fact, I will say this too. If you go to other countries, democratic countries, yes, we've seen the presidents will nominate certain positions in there. And those positions, the public sees them as good figures, reputable people that are going to do the right thing. They're not going to cheat the system. They're not going to try to play games here. They're going to do the right thing. Countries like Gambia and African countries that have a lot of corruption and a lot of problems in these areas, I think the chairman of IEC, should be a person that the president should not be nominating in the first place. This is a person either a board selects and then go to the National Assembly for confirmation, or they create a ballot for this person to be nominated so that people can vote and select the right person who has a very good reputation in the Gambia that can handle that position, someone that fears God, someone that knows that he's going to do the job right and is not going to look at anybody's eye, regardless of who is the president. They're going to do the right thing. That's the kind of person you need. And that person also need to be surrounded by people that are of that kind of high caliber and that reputation so that elections are conducted fairly. Who wins, wins. There's no reverse. There's nothing like, oh, well, yeah, we did, but that was a mistake. Now it's this. There's nothing like that. We shouldn't be having that in there. I know mistakes happen, but what we're talking here is different. It's a different issue. Having IEC to announce dates and prepare and want to do all these things and not doing some of the things the right way, but also there's a conflict of interest in here. So I think at the end of the day, it's a shame. And how can we get Gambians also to register to vote, especially people in the diaspora? That should be part of the Constitution. That is I know it's in the 2020 draft Constitution, so that people in the diaspora should vote. But man, when I heard Sawaneh said somebody called him to ask him about organizations, heads, and to know how many people, that I said, in my mind, I was just saying, are you kidding? Are you serious? They really called to find this out,
Normally,
It's,
there's information they can hold from the ambassadors, can't they?
yeah.
Why is the foreign
I,
ministry there?
I'll tell you this, if Americans want to know how many American citizens are in the Gambia, they will contact the embassy and the embassy will give it to them.
Maybe maybe we're gonna be doing the job of the embassy. Maybe that's what.
I will tell you that
This is the job of the embassy. I mean, despite I would say this too. The embassy may not necessarily have all the information. They should have the information, but they should be collecting that information. They should be encouraging Gambian citizens to register when they get to the United States or to any country for that sort. Any country, when Gambians, just like Americans, when Americans come to Gambia, they go to the U.S. Embassy and register there. They show their presence. They know that they're there. And the Americans, just in case of emergency and evacuation process, they know how many American citizens they have there, and they know how many people they need to evacuate. They have a count of this. In fact, I remember this because I worked at the U.S. Embassy before, and there was a time I was in the committee that was responsible for American Citizen Services, and I have a list of people in my group. They spread they divided the list between certain groups, and I had a group of people that if something happened, that will be my responsibility to contact these people. So I know that there is a way that you can know all of this through the embassy, and unfortunately, Gambia is not doing that. And I don't even trust the person that called you to get that. Who knows who that person is? Are they from IEC or are they from NPP? Who knows? I don't know who this person is. And I'm not going to tell them. They don't even need to know how many Gambians are out there. All they need to do is open the door for Gambians to register. After they register, collect how many people registered, because that registered vote is what's important. We don't need to know how many people are in Spain right now. Yes, we can do that. And the Gambian communities in every place know each other. They know each other, of course. In case of emergency, they know each other. They stand up and help each other. But there are certain things the embassies need to do. And Alex's point is unfortunate that Gambia does not have a consulate or an ambassador in Germany. Instead, they have a German citizen, which I don't understand. It doesn't really make sense to me. Germany has a lot of Gambians to a point where you
It's
really
the
need a
same.
consulate. You need a representative, someone that can communicate with both Gambians in our local languages, someone that can also speak English, but at the same time, that someone that can communicate between the two governments, German government, someone that can speak Germany, as that can speak German, and of course from Gambia can speak all of our languages as well. To be there to be able to serve the people in Germany. And Alice is a perfect example. They can choose Alice. I said that before. Alice, need to get that job there. So let's get that German person out of there and
Yeah,
and
Sam.
and get Alice in there to be able
Is
to do
going to
that. But
when then
anyway,
when
so
there is going to be a sacrifice.
what's that?
So when then is going to be a sacrifice for Gambia.
Sacrifice. No, there are so
But
many people in Germany
I'm
that
doing here already the job because many people used to call me as Gambians. I just give my advices and so because I know here better. I don't take money for it. But on the other hand, I also have something to do.
yeah, I
Right
know.
now, where I'm talking with you, my whole desk is full. So I don't have that time. But I mean, it's just going to be a sacrifice. But it's the same.
I
It's the
understand. I
same.
was just giving an example
We are
of
having the highest population, Gambian population here. Not, I don't think even compared to America. You know, they have ambassadors in islands with two Gambians somewhere in Asia, all over. You know, people who don't bring us anything. And where the boys are here, they don't have help. They are afraid to go to this person, and they are right. They don't believe in him. You know, and
yeah.
Gambia is the only country doing such a nonsense, which is a
I
shame.
I know. I
Even if
know.
we were having 5 people here, you would say, it's not necessary or so. But we are having the highest population here. So sometimes I ask for me, what is the use of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or as I don't know how to call it? Or do they think their job is just to get in the plane and go to with Brussels Airline? That's the only thing they know, nothing more. Apart from having consulate and so, you need ties with these people. I know the German government is pushing a lot of millions to East Africa, for example, for hunger and things like that. They get a lot of help. Why? Because they're having their people sitting next door. If Gambia don't have that, these people
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know us. They don't know us because what do we have here?
Yeah.
Somebody who was
Yeah.
making something with the old president, because he put him there. For what reason, nobody knows. So Barrow came, people were hoping that it will change. It's still the same person there. So when boys have a problem, they have the next door is Brussels. How can they, when they don't have the money to transport themselves even with a taxi? So they don't have help here, which is very, very sad.
Yeah.
If they have something,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
doubt if the German boys can even vote because that is not organized here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
And
the IC will have a problem to make sure that the diasporans in Germany vote. They don't even know where to start.
Right.
yeah. Well, to end what I was saying, really about the IEC, I think is a disaster. It is not where we need to be. It's not where we're supposed to be, because all of this is really something that should have been taken care of a long time ago, and not now, so that there will not be any delay. And I hope they are not even going to think about what they said about going from marbles to paper ballot with all this chaos. I hope they're not going to try to do that now, because that is something, like I said from our previous conversations here, talk shows here, that is something that really needs time. You've got to, half of Gambians have not been to school, never been to school. Okay, I may be wrong, may not be half, it may be a certain percentage. I don't know the percentage. So it's not going to be good to change. You already have a disaster from the beginning, to also include paper ballots in this 2021 election. That's too late for it. Let's put paper ballot aside uh, until after these elections. Then we start teaching, sensitizing people, tell people about paper ballots for the next election. That gives you 4 years at least 4 years to talk about it, educate people, put programs on television, let people know, radio and television, let people know what this is about, what is coming, how it's going to work, who's going to do what and when and things like that before you implement it. You just don't implement it in the same year that we're going to conduct election that's already begin to look like is not looking good because of all their lack of organization and planning to get us where we need to be. So thank you, though.
Yeah, so thank you, Sam, for that insight. I think you mentioned something here that rings a bell. And I don't want to forget it before we end. You mentioned paper ballots and then marbles. So if diaspora is gonna vote, which we're fighting for, we cannot do a marble. That makes sense, right? Because marble, I cannot mail my marble to IEC. So
you can throw it.
Yeah, they can throw it on the way or they can do anything. So paper ballots comes into play. So paper ballots is ideal for people in the diaspora. Common sense, right? But it must be verified. It wouldn't be some dead people voting, like Trump said. We gotta make sure that these are real people. Their identity is verified. Yeah. And maybe perhaps that's why they reach out to me to tally the number of people that's gonna be. They can have a database of list of people in the diaspora, and then when the votings are done, they tally it. I think that is the. I didn't go into the detail with the person who contacted me, but I think that's what they're trying to do. But I think you mentioned something very important. They failed because 2017, when I went to Wisconsin, I was invited to give a speech on the diaspora role in the New Gambia by City Council Batch Samba. When I went there, I proposed a building of a website where all the diasporians would register. Let the government have a state website just for the diaspora and advertise it on social media. If they don't know how to do it, I can help them. I'm an IT guy, so I can help them, connect them with the right people to create a database of all the Gambians. Every Gambians who ever leave the Gambia, as soon as you become a diasporian, you're gonna register with your address, and if your address change, you go there and update it. If something happened to any diasporians, it will be their ambassadors. The embassies will be connected to this information, and then the diasporans, their qualification will be highlighted there. Like Sam, you have an extensive qualification in health food safety. Alex has an extensive qualification in business and communication. I have a background in IT. So we have our profile. The government can even lobby good employees to the Gambia and attract them through that. I made that suggestion. I published a video on it also. It's in YouTube. So this database will serve as a guide. The government can come and look at Sam's profile and say, gee, we need Sam in our food safety area. Let's try to give him an offer. Maybe Sam is thinking about coming home and then to contribute for his country. Perhaps he's tired of this place. I mean, so stressful, like how it is. Or he's considering relocating back to Gambia, which we're supposed to definitely be thinking about serving our country. So you touch and base in Sam, and then you can, you never know. You can get a good person like Sam or a good person like Alice or somebody else. And then, through the same website. It's a one-stop shop where you have everybody registered for election purpose. Then they wouldn't have to call me. Now I have to go. When I finish with you guys, I have to go. And Sam, you send me your contact, your organization contact. Alice, send me your organization contact. I have to go and call everybody I can possibly think.
I'm here in Germany. I'm not in the US, so I'm out.
Okay, yeah, you are out. You are out. You are out. But listen, this could have been done in 2017. As soon as we had the change. But you know what? I mentioned it to Fadera the ambassador in US, and that even this counselor here, the mission, Gambian mission, but everybody sit on information. They are not proactive. So now we are Gambians information in diaspora is all scattered. So I will send a suggestion to Barrow's government and see if they can really work under this. I'll send them an email and see if they can really put this in place, because it's a suggestion. They don't respond to come to our store, but perhaps they will take this advice, right? We have their email. We gotta send them an info. Let them have this website going so we don't have to do this again. Get all Gambians registered there. You don't have to be scared. You are a Gambian. Nobody's gonna come after you. Just get your information, your profile. Perhaps you can appeal to certain jobs if you consider going back home. So this is just an idea that I think probably will benefit the government and will benefit us, so that diasporans can be empowered to also contribute to their country. And one last thing, I also propose diasporans to have a representation in the National Assembly. It might sound, like a weird idea. Hey, how because we are also an entity. We are an entity out there, just like other constituencies. We are also a constituency here. So we need a representation. They should enact something and have a representation in the parliament for diaspora. And so our agendas, our concerns, our everything that has to do with us is highlighted, because we contributed to the GDP more than any other group. So you cannot say that diasporans don't contribute to the development of the Gambia. Nobody could say that. So get us a representative in the parliament. That's a suggestion that we're going to also send to the president's office, and let them start working on that in the National Assembly. I think that will empower diasporans to contribute more to the development of the Gambia. So that's another idea that we spoke about a while ago, but we haven't seen anything done about it. So thank you, guys. If you have final thoughts, and then we can close.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in here because I'm running out of time here. But I just wanted to add to what you said here. The other part, like you said, using a website and electronic system. This was something that I also suggested to Gambia's PMO, head of the civil service, to be able to recruit people all over the world. There are systems that they can use. I made these suggestions. I talked about, on the civil service reform, like 2019 and 20, I talked about it as well. Very similar to what you're talking about. But yes, there should be a registration system for the embassies to be able to, just like the American embassies are doing, to be able to account for the people that are in there. And we can use that data to be able to use for election purpose. However, what I was saying also on the paper ballot versus the marble, I don't think they are ready. Do you even know? Do we even know that people in the diaspora are going to vote this year? Because we're in January 2021, the election is in December. Are people going to vote? I doubt it. I doubt that the people in the diaspora are going to vote. So I'm thinking, in my mind, when I was talking, I was thinking more of people in the Gambia. Continue the marble there. Let people vote, because I don't think diaspora is going to be included in this year's election.
No. What I was saying to have two, like paper.
I see. Yes, absolutely.
Marble,
yes.
And then people in the diaspora.
And paper ballot for us, or even a paper ballot or an electronic system, some kind of system for people in the diaspora. That would be great. But marble for Gambia, definitely go use the marble until after this election, and then educate people how to go to paper ballot. So that's what I wanted to clarify there. So, but thank you all. I just want to end it here, because I'm going to jump off here in a little bit and jump on another call here. So my hometown call.
Yeah, I think we Alice, you have anything?
Yeah, for me, I'm just only concerned about data collection, because when we cannot even give a right data for COVID-19, I think with data collection is Gambian problem. We have to do something about it.
Right. Okay. Thank you, guys. Our viewers, subscribe to our Facebook channel, and we're gonna have our YouTube channel very soon. You can click on the subscribe link and then follow our source, upcoming source, and so forth. So we thank you guys, our viewers, for watching. This is a very good discussion here. If anybody has any comment, you can actually send it through our chat. I haven't seen anything significant there, being that they're just thanking us for wonderful information. Yeah,
It can come. Questions can come. Okay, then Mr. Sawaneh, I also have to leave.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Sam,
Thank you
bye
both.
bye.
Thank you,
Take
Sam.
care.
Yep.
Thank you, Alice.
America.
All right. Take care.